live. Let us ask the chat. Can they see us? I don't know if anyone's here.
Chat.
Hello.
This host has.
This is an odd time.
Yep, we're here.
But I don't think anybody expected us to be here. But hello, people. Maybe, sort of. Good evening to some people. Good. Well, I don't
What
even know
wasn't
what
that? What was that Truman Show? Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Good night. Yes. I don't know if anybody's here. Who's watching? Anybody besides me and Sarah in here?
We're here.
We're here.
You know, why don't I tell somebody on Blue Sky?
Okay. Are you exclusively using
No.
the other? Okay.
No. In fact, I feel like Blue Sky has had this like surge. You know, and so I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go where the people go. Blue Sky Social, that's not my account. What would that be?
I think I deleted the app, to be honest with you. I'm like, did I? Because I was on it a while ago. I did delete it. Okay, let's see.
I'm in. Let's do this. It'll be a fun little experiment. Oh boy. Yeah. Right now, people are fighting with each other about politics on Blue Sky. This is why I don't do social media a lot in general.
Hello. No, I was just muted myself. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh, that was weird. Okay. I thought I would be more active on Threads instead, you know?
Yeah.
Show me a lot of people I don't follow. And I'm like, all right, I don't know if I want that either. You know?
So, and what am I? dailytechnewshow.com/live? I think so. Let's see. Let's see. We are. We don't appear to be live here.
Are we not live?
I don't know. Oh no, we are. No, we are.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
just at. I
At
really
a strange
I really need
time.
to be a better promoter of all things.
Same. Let's see. Well, what's most important is the audio. Not that we don't love the video watchers, but you know.
Indeed.
All right, I'm back on Blue Sky. Oh, I wrote. What was the last thing I wrote? Oh, are we still here or are we threading? Is what I wrote on July 9th, 2023. That's the last time I logged into.
The last time before today,
Yeah.
I was May 1st of 2023. And I was excited that Darth, who's a Twitter beloved Twitter account, had joined Blue Sky. But that was like before Threads, and
it was before Threads, right? Like,
yeah, it was.
All right, I will check out Blue Sky. Luckily, I don't have that many. I don't think politicking going on here, but you know. If so, you can mute these things, right? And do whatever.
Definitely can. Okay. Yeah. Let me log into Threads. What's my username? I don't know. Oh, with my Instagram account. Well, because I've got this new Mac Mini. What I decided to. Okay, I'll save for the show.
Yeah. Save for the show. Save for the show. Yeah, on Threads, I have people that I follow, but I have a lot of people that are just given to me, and I'm like, because they're topics that I might be interested in, but they're just not people that I know. So it's just weird. It's weird.
Exactly.
I mean, in a way I don't mind, but then I also mind. you know? So, mm,
Yeah, there's a whole sort of, yeah, save info. There's a whole thing with social media right now where I'm like, I just, it's like, are we supposed to like check 4 places every day?
mhm.
I mean, right now the answer is yes. I mean, unless you
Right.
just choose one and go with it,
Right.
because it used to be Twitter and maybe Facebook,
Yeah.
and then Instagram for other things, and now there's TikTok, and that's different. But it's
Mhm.
sort of like for just kind of that like social discourse. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. I'm not quite sure where the best is. You just have to bounce back and forth, sadly. But whatever. All right. Did you log into Threads? You good?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. I
All
am
right.
all good.
Okay, then. Shall we get the show on the road?
Let's do it.
All right, let me get the open, and you can just count me in, Sarah, whenever you're ready.
All right. Let's do this in 3, 2. It's Apple Vision Show, everybody. I'm Sarah Lane. That's Eileen Rivera.
We're
And
back.
it's been a few weeks.
It's been a few weeks for me. I know you did a show with Amos a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah.
we've been a little sporadic and not as consistent just for this month.
Yeah.
But
It's
we're
it's
back.
been a month of travel. Eileen, I know
Mhm.
you were away for a couple of weeks. Amos did a fabulous job hanging with me that second week that you were away. Then I was away for a week. So we didn't
Yeah.
have a show last week. So as we're recording this on Wednesday, November 20th, we are back, baby.
Yeah.
And glad to have all of you sticking with us and understanding that life has been a little chaotic as of
A
late.
little chaotic.
A little,
Yes,
a
a
little
little
chaotic.
chaotic.
Yeah,
And sometimes, that happens, right? So you just kind of have to take a little break and then regroup. And here we are. And I was like,
indeed.
Sarah, I think I'm behind on everything that's happened. We've had a slate of products introduced,
Yeah.
right? Since we last spoke. And we were anticipating that.
Yes,
And
we knew
yeah.
this would happen, and this was, gosh, I can't even remember now. It feels like a million years ago, but it was just earlier this month. Apple did it sort of like, and you were out of town.
Yeah.
It was like, we're gonna do an announcement every day this week type thing, and
Uh-huh.
the company delivered on that promise pretty much. We got new Macs,
Yep.
new MacBook Pros, new Mac Mini. That was the
Mm.
second. On Monday, didn't get that. We got it on Tuesday, and I was very
Uh-huh.
excited. I ordered one immediately
Woo.
as soon as I saw the information about that, and I'm using it now. It's great.
Woohoo.
There was a little trial and error setting it up, as you kind of just get with a new computer. Like you can I don't know if you do this whenever I get a new iPhone, which is
Mm-hmm.
sort of whenever I get one at this point, but I always just back it up from the cloud. Just give me
Mm.
the phone I had before, and if anything's sort of bloated and weird, I'll take it off.
Yeah.
But just give me everything that was on my old phone, so that
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm you know I it, it's
Yeah.
it's as if nothing has happened except that I
Yeah.
have a nicer phone. With Macs, I feel a little desktop computers.
Mhm.
I feel a little different. I like to start fresh. I save a
Yeah.
lot of stuff to iCloud and
Okay.
cloud services in general. So
Yeah.
getting a new desktop computer doesn't mean that I'm like, oh, I just, have no idea where any of my files are. It's like, no, most of that stuff I can
Mhm.
access pretty quickly, but you still have to, set up LastPass
Mhm.
and make sure you're I have two different Apple accounts I have like a master Apple account that I
Mm.
just kind of
Mhm.
use for iCloud. but I
Yeah.
have a different account that I use for iTunes purchases, and I don't really have a great reason why I do this, but I've just been
Okay.
doing it for so long it makes sense to me.
Okay.
So, Apple has to like understand that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's been a little bit of a okay, learning curve, but at the same time, it's also just it's a clean computer. Everything in the
Mm.
cloud, I can bring it, onto this Mac if I
When you
want.
need it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If and when I need it.
Yep.
Instead of just being like, oh, my desktop is a mess, like all those files, I don't know, I have to do something with them. that's what
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
what that's what my old sad wheezing Mac Mini was feeling. It's just like, Sarah, do something with all these files. Yeah, so we're kind of it's a bit of a clean slate. It's going really well. I do have, and I'll save this for a little bit later in the show, but I do have a saga of sorts to talk about me procuring this Mac Mini.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It
Oh
it
no.
it was a saga for the ages. But
Okay.
I'll go ahead and tease that and stick with us. But just to talk about the Mac Mini itself now that I've got it up and running. It's always there's always a little hiccup here and there. For example,
Yeah.
when I first unboxed it because I had been out of town. So it was sort of, sitting here for a while. So I unboxed it only a few days ago and I was like, oh, yay, so great. Oh, wait. So my, I need like a USB A to USB C converter
Mm.
because my
Okay. Yeah.
webcam is USB A. Just hadn't
Mm-hmm.
thought about that.
Yeah.
And even people who were like, oh, that's annoying, when the new Mac Mini was announced, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
who cares? USB-C,
Yeah.
that's where we're all going anyway, right?
Right.
And I
Totally.
just, as soon as I got it here, I was like, oh, yeah, no, I've got that. And I have those. I have like
Yeah.
several of them because this is what happens. But, I had to like dig them out of the closet and, just like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no USB-A port. All right.
Ah.
And then my keyboard and trackpad are both Magic keyboard trackpads, so they're
Okay.
Bluetooth.
Yeah.
You have to plug them in every so often, to charge the battery, but not that often. Like once a
Mm-hmm.
month type thing, maybe once every couple of months. But of
Mm-hmm.
course, the new Mac Mini was like, "Don't see it," and I was like, "Oh God."
Oh
So there were
no.
there was just like a variety of ways that I was, like trying to get my new computer to be like, see the trackpad. You need to
Please
see
see
the
my stuff.
trackpad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and the keyboard. It's
Oh.
all good. It's all good now. Bluetooth is a little wonky. We know
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
So, I don't blame anybody, but probably myself for all of this.
Mm.
But it was a little bit of a process, but now that it's here, I will say,
You
Eileen,
love
this is
it?
a snappy little computer.
Oh, I'm so glad you waited and you didn't buy the other versions. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this was, you held on so long to the older device to be upgraded and really feel the
Yeah.
difference, right?
Exactly,
So,
exactly. And
yeah.
and even though the M4 Mac Mini is what I got, it's from sort of the base model to like the crazy expensive model, I'm somewhere in like the first third,
Okay.
of
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah,
still,
yeah.
we're rocking the M4. I got a terabyte of storage. I maxed out on memory because
Yeah.
just to kind of future proof myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I haven't done anything. Well, that's not true. I did some video editing for just kind of a side project, which went off without a hitch. All
Good.
good.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've like pushed it to the limit, but at the
Uh-huh.
same time, it's great. It's great. I love it.
So you got the M4, not the M4 Pro? I see
I got the
that there's a
M4
Pro
Pro.
model.
No, no,
Oh,
no. I
you
got the
did get the
M4
M4
Pro.
Pro.
I did.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh yeah.
God.
Yeah. No,
This was
I'm
so
rocking the Pro.
blistering fast.
I'm rocking the
You
Pro.
must feel like I've already forgotten his name. That sprinter from Jamaica. Anyway,
Oh,
uh,
I know what you're talking about.
Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt.
Usain
Yes.
Bolt.
I'm
You
so
must
fast.
feel like him. You're so fast. Like it like I can't even imagine the difference. And so what does the older one do now?
Well, nothing yet. Nothing
Okay.
yet. I mean, my Mac Mini was not failing. I mean, it was sort of failing.
Okay, okay.
Only
Yeah.
it wasn't failing, and I'm so sorry because it's looking at me right now, and I want to be nice.
You like see eyes like move
Yeah, like
over.
what? What
Yeah.
did I do? No,
Yeah.
it's this. It's a perfectly fine computer,
Mhm.
and really can do all sorts of things. So I don't know. I think I might have mentioned to you, or maybe it was Amos. Maybe I'll put it behind me and have it
Yeah.
run something. Like I don't know. I'm going to do something
Maybe.
with it. I
Mhm.
don't need to get rid of it because it's a good backup, first of all,
Yeah, yeah.
and even though I've got my MacBook Air, which is in the other room right now, but it's nice to have a good desktop backup.
Yeah.
So I
100%.
I don't know. I don't exactly know. If you're listening and you're like, oh my gosh, Sarah, you're like not thinking of the obvious, please do let us know. Feedback at applevisionshow.com because I don't know. I was like, maybe I'll like do some sort of like smart Christmas light thing,
Oh, yeah,
which,
I was
which is,
thinking something like
which
that,
is,
like
I
just
know that's a little
halogen light,
lame. I know it's
but
a little
it's
lame.
something,
I mean, it's
and then you can
something,
add.
it's seasonal type thing, but it could do more for me. And I would like to, make the most of the fact that, I'm lucky enough to have a couple Mac Minis in my office
Yeah.
here. So there you go.
Yeah, and so, like, you could do increments where you start off, with the lights maybe, and then you just keep adding like, "Oh, it could also do this for me. It could do this for me." I mean, you never know.
Yeah. Yeah. I also, I've thought, I remember the first time. So I never had a Mac when the Mac Mini was first introduced, which
Mhm.
was, I don't know, I mean, 2011,
Yeah,
2010.
who
I
knows?
mean,
Long time ago.
yeah, it was a while ago. And I remember just being like, yeah, and whatever. I had a computer at the time, and so it didn't really matter to me. But I went to a friend's house, and they had a little TV, not a big TV, but a small, just kind of monitor, basically in their kitchen. And
Mhm.
they were like, the Mac Mini, it's perfect. You can just watch TV.
Mm.
All you need is a monitor, and then you can just watch
Mhm.
TV. And
Yeah.
at the time, like me and my boyfriend were like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because like it, but like why not Apple TV? And they're like, well, because it's a computer, so it's like better,
Mm.
for a lot of things. Like you can use it as a computer, but you can also
Yeah.
use it to like watch The Daily Show, or
Mhm.
whatever you're doing, while you're in the kitchen. It was the first time that I was like, computer in kitchen. I like this
Yeah.
idea. So
Nice.
ever since then, I was like, oh yeah, Mac Mini, and never had one until 2018
Mhm.
when I got my elderly Mac Mini.
Mm.
It was right before the M1s were introduced, so my timing is great,
Mhm.
and so rocking the Intel. But yes, I still love you. I know you're looking at me. I still love you. My new Mac Mini is on top of my old Mac
Oh,
Mini right now because I'm just like, I don't know. It's fine.
where
They're
else are we
like
gonna
they're
put
both
it?
so
Yeah.
small. Let's just put them in the
Yeah.
corner of the
Oh, is it
desk.
and is the new one incredibly smaller than the old one? I
It's
haven't even
incredibly
seen it.
smaller. It's
Yeah, okay.
actually it's thicker. It's vertically thicker.
Oh, okay.
People said, "Oh, it's going to be like the size of an Apple TV." It's
Mhm.
bigger than that,
Oh,
but it's
okay, it is
it's
bigger than
it's
Apple
it's
TV.
it's it's just vertically thicker than that. Otherwise, that is exactly what it looks like.
Interesting.
It
Okay.
is it is a tiny little, footprint for the powerhouse that it is. So, I'm
Wow.
very,
Talk about
very
space
I'm very
saver
excited.
too.
Very excited.
Yay! Congratulations,
Yay.
Sarah. I
Thank
know this was a
you.
long time coming,
It
but,
was.
it's probably worth the wait, yeah?
It was. It was. I mean, if my old Mac Mini had like fully just died, I still could have used my MacBook Air to power what we're doing right now. You know, like
Yeah.
I didn't really need like I life wasn't going to end,
Right.
but I just, I don't really want to do that. I kind of had to do that in the
Yeah.
interim, for
Yeah.
a variety of reasons. So anyway, for anybody who's like, yeah, yeah, I hear you. I would love to know if any of you out there have gotten a Mac Mini or decided not to.
Mm-hmm.
I just would love to know your thoughts. I am, it wasn't cheap, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm on a fixed budget these days, and so this was a big purchase, but
Mm-hmm.
it felt right, and it has been serving me well.
Yay. That's what matters. And now we move on, and you have this amazing powerhouse that you will discover more things you could do with.
Such as listening to podcasts,
Yes. Oh my God. It
because
is the
you need a powerhouse for that,
Oh
Eileen.
my gosh. I mean, honestly, like our next story is about the, top we're getting lists, end of the year lists. It's coming,
Yeah,
right? I can't
yeah.
believe it's like the end of the
gift
year. It's
gift
crazy.
guides, best
Yep.
ofs. That's what happens. Towards mid to end November. My corner store is playing Christmas music right now. I went in there to get
Oh,
eggs
wow.
earlier, and I was like, Christmas music, and they were like, why not? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine with me.
Yeah, Korea put like when we were in Korea for vacation, and the hotel, our first hotel we stayed in, the lobby already had a fully decorated Christmas tree, and this was what, October 23rd or 4th that we were there. So
Right? Yeah.
they don't really celebrate Halloween like we do, and then they don't have Thanksgiving. They have different types of Thanksgivings. And earlier, I think, like in September. I don't know why I can't remember the name of their holiday. So for them, it's like, let's get to Christmas. And by the time we left, everything had been started to illuminate, like all of the malls, everything was Christmas before, long before December hit. So
I
anyway,
was I was visiting my mom last week
mhm.
for a week, and she happens to live next to a super Target, not like
Oh,
directly next to, but very very short drive away from a
yeah.
super Target. And for anybody who's like, what's that? So I live not that far away from a Target, but it's
Hmm.
like a city Target.
Hmm.
You can
Yeah.
get everything you want
Smaller.
there, but
Yeah.
it's just not like a huge Costco size Target. My
Hmm.
mom has a super Target where
Wow.
you can like do a lap a couple times and walk a couple miles. It's big.
That's good. Like,
It
hey, you know
is.
what? I
Yeah.
don't if it's too cold outside, just go to the super Target and get your
Go to the
steps
super
in.
Target and you're probably going to find something you didn't even know you needed, and they just have like all sorts of, good, like, I don't know. I like when I sometimes, I don't know if you feel this way, Eileen, when you're hanging out with the parents, but sometimes I'm like, you know what, Mom, I'm just going to like go to Target for a little bit.
Oh
And she's
yeah.
like, what
Yeah,
do you
sometimes you
need?
just
And I'm
want to leave.
like,
Yeah.
I just want to go do
Get out.
something, and
Yep.
just like clear my head. And while we're speaking of Christmas things, that's why I'm bringing this up. I walked in there and I was like, Christmas. Oh my
Attack of
gosh.
Christmas already.
Attack of
Wow.
Christmas,
Yeah.
and people are wearing like Santa hats. And I'm like, guys, it's November 15th. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
People like
Whatever
like
you want to do to make
November.
yourself happy, that's fine.
Yeah, November 1st, then Mariah shows up and she's like, "Hey, let's
There you go.
go." I'm
Yep.
like, "There we
Yeah.
go." She's kind of the signal.
Well,
But we were talking
so
about
yeah,
Oh, no, go ahead.
well, I mean, Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You has now become this like funny meme, I guess, in a way, where it's like every year people go like, it's Mariah time, and then
Yes.
she sort of like rockets to like the top
Yeah.
of lists because is it because people like that song so much? I think maybe. But I
Yeah, I
also
think
think it's because
yeah.
people want to like be part of this thing that is fun and
Yeah.
Christmassy.
Yeah.
So,
I think,
yeah.
I do think the song is good, so it helps, right? And then I think that she has just owned it. She's like, "Great. This is my biggest hit probably of her cuz every year it rockets to like number 1,
I mean,
like
we've been doing
without
this for
fail."
10 years.
Without fail,
Yeah.
So, it had its like resurgence after being in the Love Actually movie, and now it's just like keeps going. It just keeps, and she's like, "This is great." It'll put her kids through college. It'll do whatever. Not that she could
You
already
know, because
afford college
Mariah
for her
Carey
kids.
was really hurting, before All I Want for Christmas came out. No, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about chart topping things, Mashable had an article as we do around this time of year, that is, things like what's the most popular, what are the most popular songs, the most
Mhm.
popular shows, what movies gross the most amount of money, the most popular podcasts,
Mhm.
and on Apple's list of podcasts. Sounds like they had been broken down, into a few different categories, like top news shows, top
Yeah.
series, most shared shows. But Apple's top podcasts of 2024, Eileen, do you know what number one is?
Only because I cheated and looked.
You're,
Uh
you're like, yeah, Sarah, I sent you this link earlier.
I would never have guessed, but The Daily.
It's The
The
Daily.
Daily
Now,
is
The
number 1.
Daily, that's a New York Times podcast. It is very, it's clearly about daily news.
Mhm.
You might be down with it or not. I'm a fan. I listen to
Mm.
The Daily, not every day because I just don't
Okay.
have time, and it's one of those podcasts where it's like, I mean, if you listen to Daily Tech News Show, you probably feel the same way. It's like if I can do it first thing in the morning, I feel informed. If
Mhm.
it's sort of, I don't know, 5, 6 p.m., my day's kind of winding down, it's time for dinner, I sometimes skip it.
Mm, mhm, mhm.
And it kind of all has to do with just your routine, which I know a
Right.
lot of people can relate to. But yes, I'm not surprised when I say to people like, "Oh yeah, I mean, do you listen to The Daily?" Almost every time someone's like, "Yeah, of course." All
You've
right, well, all
encountered it
right.
at least once or more in your life, probably, if you listen to podcasts at all, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Number two, Crime Junkie. Now, true crime, big podcast genre.
Always, always,
I
yeah,
I don't I don't do a lot of true crime stuff. Not because I don't like it.
same.
In fact, I'm totally into that when it comes to like TV shows. I
Mhm.
just I don't know. This is not a show that I've ever listened to.
Yeah. Yeah, same, same, and I don't listen to true crime, so it wouldn't even be on my radar, to be honest with you, because it's
There
just not,
there you
what
go.
I
We've
listen
got
to.
Joe Rogan Experience in the third spot. Frankly, I'm surprised it's not number one. I know it is
I
on
know.
Spotify.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. Dateline NBC. I mean,
Hey.
I'll watch some Dateline.
Yeah,
I didn't
okay.
realize that Dateline NBC, the podcast, was so popular, but there you go.
Mhm,
Smartless, coming in at number 5.
mhm.
Huberman Lab at number 6. This American Life at number 7. I mean, that's an
Yeah.
oldie but goodie. I listen
Yep,
to that
yep.
absolutely. Also, another show that I can sometimes I will go on a walk with my dog where it's like, it's a Saturday. I don't really have anything to do. Like we're gonna walk for like 2 hours.
Okay, yeah.
And so I'll load up longer form stuff like this,
Yeah,
and you can
yeah,
listen to This American Life at any point. Like
totally.
it's not timely.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Oh,
guess sometimes
evergreen.
it's kind of timely, but it's not really meant to be. Then
Yeah.
you've got Jason and Travis Kelsey.
I did know about this podcast mostly because, I think I just always click on Taylor Swift news, so he always shows up in my algorithm with his brother. I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah,
I know they have
yeah.
a podcast."
Yeah, it's called New Heights. I haven't listened to it. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion because I don't
Yeah.
even really know. Like I'm like, are they talking about football? Are they talking about other things? I don't know. I know that it's popular though because
Yeah.
I've seen it around. Rounding up 9 and 10, up first from NPR, and then Morbid. which
What is morbid?
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
what that is.
I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. Mm.
I have no idea. I
It
could look
sounds
it up.
scary. It sounds
It
really
does sound
scary, Sarah.
scary.
I'm like, what in the world is morbid? But
Morbid
is
podcast.
it another true crime? It's got to be true
Let's
crime.
just find out. We
I
can.
think it's true crime. I'm so sorry to the people who
Oh.
produce Morbid because I should know. And obviously more people know about it than we do.
Oh, okay. So here's the this is produced by Wondery, which does a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
other podcasts.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So the short version is
Log line.
a
Yeah.
lighthearted nightmare in here, weirdos. Morbid is a true crime, creepy history, and all things spooky podcast hosted by an autopsy technician and a hairstylist. Join us for a heavy dose
Ooh.
of research with a dash of comedy thrown in for flavor. You know what?
All right.
This might actually speak to me.
Yeah.
Now that
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I could do that because they're probably gonna like talk about hairstyles here and there.
Yeah, and it's not going to have like, crazy like the where the tone is going to be so scary. I mean, I just don't like that. If there's a little bit more levity in a show, then I probably would want to listen to it. Even a true crime show. So anyway, sorry that we don't know Morbid, but we know it now because it is on the top 10 podcasts of 2024 for Apple. That
In
is
Indeed.
congrats to all of them.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Big round of applause. You've all done so well. And a round of applause for everybody else, including us. I'm like, why are we not in the top 10? You know, I don't know. I guess 2025 will be our year, but
Yes.
for everybody, in the grind, doing your thing each week or each day or each month,
Yeah.
however you do it. We know that it's more work than people think it is
Exactly. And so
to
we
make a
applaud
podcast. Yeah. So
you.
we
Yes.
applaud all of you, and let's all get on the top 10 next time. Should we take a
Yes.
little break?
Yeah, let's take a little break and here we go.
So Eileen, how much do you use Final Cut Pro?
Well, I downloaded the Final Cut Pro app for iPad, and
Yeah.
I was very sad to find out that they did not burn in captions like CapCut does. So I kind of stopped using it, and I don't know if I actually stopped paying for it because it's $4.99. It's not that expensive. I like some of the features on Final Cut Pro for iPad. Now I don't use the desktop version because I was waiting. I was like, do I really like Final Cut before investing? Because that is a full purchase. When I found out that it didn't burn in captions, I'm like, well, wait a minute. I can just do that with CapCut, and I already pay for CapCut. So I kind of abandoned it. But I hear there are a lot of updates to Final Cut Pro 11. And I think this is specifically for the desktop, not necessarily for the iPad. But, I should have known that Final Cut Pro was going to go the way of AI and that they were going to start implementing AI features, whatever that may be, to help speed along your edits. And I don't know that I need some of these features or if any of these features would be useful, like magnetic mask. But there is now transcribed to caption, Sarah. And I mean, that's the biggest thing because, you're supposed to have captions on your videos because people, don't always listen with sound. So,
Oh, totally. And by the way, if you hear oh no, it's still
It's
going.
still there.
Somebody's car alarm. Okay, they've
there we
got
go.
it figured out. Here we go. Yeah,
You're like,
didn't do it on purpose.
stop.
Yeah, it wasn't me. But yeah, no. I mean, listen, captions. I remember when videos all started having captions on everything, and I was like, oh, it's because they think that you're going to pay more attention, because everybody has very, low attention spans these days. And, it's a little gimmicky. And I was sort of like, do we do, like, I mean, I was working when I was working at TechCrunch and running the video team there, we had this whole conversation about like, do we start doing captions on our videos? And it was like, no, we have the summary underneath the video, in the blog post. We're
Mhm.
fine. We don't need to like do this. Now, I'm like, I mean, without captions, I don't even know how I consume anything. And it's not
Exactly.
because I'm not paying attention. It just, I don't know, helps me follow along better
Mhm.
type
I
thing.
I actually do watch videos without sound, because,
Same.
if I'm not wearing my headphones late at night, I don't wanna wake up Tom, so I'm just like, I'm on my phone, I'm like, "Oh, well, at least I can read, what this person's saying." So,
Yeah,
it's you're just more likely to get someone to watch your video if there is captions than not. It's just a
totally.
data fact.
Well,
Uh,
and even, it you can do it different ways. It's like it can be sort of like just an AI type program that pulls what it thinks you said. And
yeah.
you can see, sometimes in captions where you're like, that's a typo, but like I see what
Yeah,
it meant, you
yeah.
thought that you were saying type thing. But then, people, especially some of the folks that I follow on TikTok and Instagram that are kind of like influencers, like big time, on
Mhm.
those mediums, they're talking, and
Mhm.
then, the captions are like synopses or bullet
Mm.
points. It's sort of like you can kind of do both or either or.
Yeah.
And that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
There's this guy who lives in Philadelphia. I've never met him, but he has two dogs. They're rescues, and so my
Aw.
dog follows them on Instagram.
Aw.
But I like to sometimes tap in and
Yeah.
see what Otis is looking at. But yeah, like he's good at this. He's
Mhm.
like he has a story to tell, so he's telling the story, but then his captions are sort of like bullet points of the story. So
Mhm.
yeah, if you were to have the video muted, you would not miss a beat,
Yeah.
but you kind of get like a different version if you're listening to the audio. It's kind of,
Right.
it's a little bit of both. So I think that's probably where Final Cut Pro is hoping to go. I haven't used Final Cut Pro in a while. I
Yeah.
switched to Adobe Premiere
Yeah.
some years ago when I was doing more video editing, which I don't really do right now, although I'd like to get back into it because it's fun. But it just everyone else was using Premiere. And so
Mhm.
it just felt like it's just going to be that much easier for me to like ask a question, share a file,
Yeah.
just kind of just my people were all, off of Final Cut, but people have started to come back around.
Yeah. I've heard more people using it lately. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the other feature, which still does not affect me so much, is spatial video editing. What a surprise. I didn't even think about this. When I saw this video for Final Cut Pro 11, I'm like, oh, of course they're going to add spatial video because, Apple Vision Pro. So,
Yep, yep, yep,
uh,
yep.
people want to create videos that work for that. And also the iPhone has the capability of shooting for spatial video. So
Yep.
now
Yep.
with it. So I think that's cool. I don't know that I'm going to use it. By the way, you could get a 90-day free trial. Uh, but I'm not sure. And honestly, I love CapCut so much. I actually started editing our show with it, and now it's faster with it. To be, I versus using Premiere because I can edit it and it exports both the audio and the video at the same time. I don't have to do, and I know you can do that with Premiere, but this is on CapCut. It's literally you don't even have to
It's just easy. Yeah.
does it. So I don't know. I mean, and again, my stuff is simple editing. It's not, you know, dramatic scenes, or I don't need to do super color
Yeah,
correction or
you're
like
not doing
that,
a
you know?
major motion picture. Not
No.
yet. Not yet. Yeah.
So for those of us who have light editing, I don't know. I'm not on the Final Cut Pro train only because I found CapCut and that seems to do everything that I need right now. Both the mobile and the desktop. I use both and I love them both. And I only pay one price. So if you if you which it's 7.99 for the Pro every month versus you pay separate for the desktop and the iPad app. And there's no phone app. It's iPad or desktop. So, oh no, wait, I think there's like a camera app for Final Cut Pro. Like you can make it like a multi-screen
Yeah.
thing. But like that's what I mean. It's kind of still fragmented. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't think that has changed. So that's why I'm like, well, CapCut, it's seamless, and there's even storage, cloud storage, so you could share within your phone and the desktop. So it's actually not that easy to do that, but you can, versus you can't do that with Final Cut Pro and Final Cut Pro iPad. You can't share the same timelines. So
Yeah. And
I don't want to
yeah.
be, I want it to be a little bit more seamless, and CapCut is there for me right now until I see a change. So
No, I hear you on that. Again, I haven't used Final Cut. I actually, way back in the day, at a previous job, they it was long ago enough that Final Cut Pro was like pretty new, and I was working at this news station, and in San Francisco, and they were sort of like, okay, we're all gonna go to desktop video as far as editing instead of like reel to reel editing, and everyone was just like, oh, scary. And I was young, so I'm like, I'll learn. And they sent me like for a week to like get like
oh,
training for Final Cut.
nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this is Final Cut was a very different program in those days, but
Mhm.
still it was like pretty intensive, like 8 hours a day for, a week. And I learned a lot. And I was like, all right, I mean, not going to be the best editor in the world, but like, I think I know what I'm doing
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And spent some time with that. And yeah, so when Premiere kind of came on the scene, it was already
Yeah.
on the scene, but it
Right.
got better.
Yeah.
And people were sort of like, yeah, Premiere is better. So then I was sort of like, yeah, I can more or less move over to this, but it's all sort of the same. It's
Yeah.
like, do I want to do a white flash at this specific point, in the time
Yeah.
code? Like, I can figure out how to do that.
Mhm.
But yeah, to be able to be really, really nimble with something like Final Cut Pro, it's a robust program.
It really
It's
is. Yeah.
it's sort of like I use Logic Pro, which is Apple's
Mhm.
audio in-house audio program, and that is for like musicians
Mhm.
who are like putting out albums. You
Mhm.
can use it for spoken word and add a little, music and flair here and there, which is what I do. But it's
Yeah.
like, why do I use that program? I don't know. I just like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. You like what you
I'm
like.
invested at this point, even though someone would be like, why not GarageBand? It's like the same thing, but way more
Mm.
stripped down. And I'm like, because I like Logic,
Yeah.
like,
You like what
kind of
you
thing.
like, you
You like what
know?
you like. Yeah. And I think,
Um,
Final Cut it is such I mean, truly, I mean, I made a joke about, making a movie earlier, but that's actually what people do now.
yeah.
You make
Yeah.
movies with iPhones and Final Cut.
Exactly.
That's what
I
you do.
learned on Final Cut, and I used to buy the big box that it came in,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that's what I learned on. And then people started moving to Premiere. I actually don't like Premiere, to be honest with you. I don't like it. There's stuff about it that isn't as intuitive, and so that's why I'm like, CapCut works for me right now until someone else captures my attention. And maybe it could be Final Cut again. I loved it back in the day, but I want it to talk to each other. I want it to be a little bit, look, they've added captions. Thank you. That's really what I wanted. So hopefully it's on the iPad app as well. But with this, if it gets an update, and then and then I'll revisit the situation. But for now, the book is closed. But hey, they're making intelligent changes using AI, and there are probably going to be some sweet features that I don't even know yet that will surface, and that maybe will make editing faster. It's kind of too early to tell, but
It
yeah.
is. Yeah, and I mean for anybody who's if you've been playing around with any of this stuff, I'd love to hear more because I'm in the same boat as you, Eileen, where I'm like AI could maybe make editing faster. I mean, editing is depending on what you're doing. I mean, even
Mhm.
if it's audio only, it's like it's a laborious process. You
Mhm.
know, every little and
Mhm.
strange somebody's car alarm is going on outside like, you want to make it perfect. And if you're really a perfectionist, you will spend your life working on this file. If
Mhm.
AI can somehow, if I say something like take out the car alarm going off outside. I don't know. Like I don't even know if it's that easy, but if we can get to the point where we're doing stuff like that, whew, it makes creativity so much easier.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we will. When it does, I'm all there. Bring it to
Same.
me. Bring it to me.
Same. Eileen, are you ready for my Mac Mini delivery saga?
Yes, I it's so what happened? You
Okay.
teased it earlier. We know you have this amazing machine and it's working for
Yeah,
you
it's
and you're
here.
slowly getting it to sync and you're slowly getting it, to work for everything you need to work
Exactly.
for. Yeah.
Yes. So it's here. All's well that ends well is the way that I will preface this next story.
Yeah.
However, so the day that the Mac Mini was announced, which you were on vacation,
Mhm.
so it was
Like early November, right? Early
it
November or
was
late October?
November. It was October 29th, if I'm not
Okay, yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, that day ordered it,
Mm.
and Apple is happy to take my money, and says, "All right, your delivery will come on November 18th." Now
Ooh.
I knew that the week prior I was going to be out of town because I was going to
Yeah.
go visit my mom.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, all right." That's fine, And I remember telling the crew over at DTNS, and Roger was like, do you not want to just like pick it up at the store?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Seems so dangerous. Like, what if it
Yeah.
comes early? And I'm like, it won't. It's gonna be fine. I'll be back like way before the 18th. Well, I
Okay.
mean, not way before, but like a day or two before.
Yeah.
But I was like, it'll be fine. Well, sure enough, I go up north, Northern California, where my mom is, and I get an email somewhat late at night, the day that I arrive there, that good news. Your Mac shipment is coming 4 days early, and it will be arriving on the 14th. So I was like, oh man, all right. So it was late. So and Apple customer service support ends at 9 p.m. Pacific time.
Oh
So,
boy.
but they still will let you do like online chat.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, let me just talk to somebody, let's get this ball
Yeah.
rolling, let's figure it out. So I explained the situation to this very nice person who might have been a bot, hard to say. But I'm like, all right, like understand, like it can't be delivered while I'm gone. The reason for that is that, it's too expensive to like sit on my porch. Even if I had, I don't know, one of my neighbors looking out for it, which they'd be happy to do. It's like they're busy. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not me. It's
Mhm.
like if it gets swiped, then
Oy.
nobody's going to reimburse me this money.
Yeah.
So, and I live in a city that things like that happen. So the agent I was talking to was like, "All right, so here's what we can do. We can put a stop on the delivery and have it was UPS that was
Mm.
delivering it.
Mhm.
We can just have them hold the package at UPS, and when you get for 7 days, and when
Mm.
you get back, you just go to the nearest UPS
Oh, yeah, and
facility
pick it
to
up.
you, yeah, and pick it up." And I was like, "Great, which one?" And they were like, "Well, it's it'll be in the system. The one that's like nearest to your address is where it will be, held." But you'll get a notification from us just, for sure telling you exactly where it is. So, I look online, I'm like, yeah, there's like UPS stores all over me. Not a problem. This is almost better.
Yeah.
So no issue. The next day, I get a confirmation your order will be delivered on the 14th from Apple, and I'm like, oh god. So I call Apple again.
God,
I know. Oh, it gets worse.
I hate calling these people. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, so this time it was like in the middle of the day. So I was able to get somebody on the phone, and I'm like, here's the sitch. I explained the whole thing again. They're like, so here's the problem. Your package is already in the hands of UPS. So now we can't really do anything about this.
Oh.
Because it just, Apple Apple did its thing.
Yeah.
And now it's, in the hands of, for anybody who's not familiar with UPS, it's, United Parcel Service. They, it's like FedEx or the mailman, it's same idea. Like, they have the package now, so you're going to have to talk to them. So I was like, all right, I'll talk to them. So I call UPS, and I get somebody on the phone, and they're like, we don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm like, here's my tracking number. And they're like, yeah, there's like, I don't know, some notes here about like leaving it at a facility. Apple won't allow us to do that. I don't know why they would have said that you could do that. No, it's like, because it's like when it's over a certain amount of money and it has to be signed for, it can't be left at a facility. But of course, my Apple robot that I talked to that first day.
I told you that. So bad.
I know.
This was AI. It did not work for you.
Totally did not work. And I don't know for sure, but I think it probably was. So I was like, all right, well, I'm in a pickle here, so, explain the situation again. And, at this point, I've contacted a couple of my immediate neighbors and been like, can you like look out for a package that just might come, and they're like, I guess, I mean, we'll do our best, that sort of thing. Anyway, UPS person, she takes pity on me, and she was like, all right, let me, give me a second. So I'm on the phone with her for over an hour. Lots of on hold. Let me talk to a supervisor. I'll be back. Yeah. So finally, she's like, all right, the package is out for delivery. However, we have gotten a hold of the driver, and the package will not be delivered. He's going to bring it back to the facility, and you can't pick it up here. That still wasn't an option for whatever reason, but we will deliver it in 1 week from today. It costs you $10. You have to pay online. And I was like, okay. Great. All right. What's $10 at this point? Yeah. So I like go through, on the website and do all this stuff, and she's on the phone with me, all as well. She's like, yes, we see that. Thank you. Great. And I'm like, why is it not free? But okay. And finally, I'm like, thank you. Really eases my mind. Great. The next day, I get a notification. I see it on my watch. This comes from PayPal because I used PayPal to buy the Mac Mini. And PayPal pulls from like Gmail data to, be like a package on your way. So I see that and I'm like, oh, they're just looking at the old, like some old email that I hadn't deleted yet. So I pay no mind. And, thinking like, we've solved this. A couple hours later, one of my neighbors who lives downstairs from me texts me and is like, Sarah, something weird happened. So like UPS came and was like banging on your door. And then I was outside because I didn't know if it was for me or not. And the guy says, do you know if she's home? And I said, I don't see her car. And the guy was like, well, you need to sign for this.
Oh.
So he's like, so I signed for it and I have your package. And I'm like, I cannot believe this.
After all of that,
after all of that. I mean, it was just like such a failure of the system. Now, again, I got the package. It's fine. I'm using the Mac Mini right now. All's well that ends well. But I was freaking out because I was out of town,
Yeah.
and it was like I was doing everything I could to make this not be a nightmare. And it was anyway.
And you're not even that close to your neighbor, so it's not like yes, it's your neighbor, but it's not like I have full trust in this person.
I
It's
had
just
never even he was not one of the neighbors I had even told about this.
oh god.
He just happened to be outside. And also I'm like, so if somebody had to sign for it and I wasn't home
They just give it to
and
the person
and
standing
some
there?
strange man just happens to be on the porch, sure, he's my neighbor and he's trustworthy, but like UPS doesn't know that.
Yeah.
He
Why
could
would
have
they
he
just
could
give it
have
to
just like signed
anybody?
for it and ran away.
Don't, that seems well, please let us know if this has happened to you because I've
Right.
never heard of UPS just allowing some other person to sign for it. Like, can't they? Wouldn't they have taken like usually they take it back and they're like, oh, but I guess
Yeah,
because
like
of the
never
price
mind, you're
point.
not Sarah.
Yeah,
That I
we'll
mean
take it back and then we'll try
that's
again tomorrow.
even though I was sort of like relieved that it was over at that point, I
Yeah.
was like, what you should have done is not let
Yeah.
some rando person sign for my package and take it.
Yeah,
That's
because
not how this is supposed to work.
what if this person what if this person was impersonating your neighbor? And,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and then just takes it and runs. Like,
Right. Yeah.
and
I
then
mean,
realizes what it is. Because it probably says, wait, did the box have I always forget. Does it say Apple on it? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
um
Um, I don't think it
actually, let me
does.
look. I have it right here.
Ooh, yeah, let's take a look. Because it's just, sometimes they just have like the battery or like it's very sort of nondescript. Or does it say, or like, but then the label might say from Cupertino.
It doesn't.
Yeah, Sang. We don't
It's
know about the. Oh, yeah, you're $10. Sang or song. Sang. I can't read right now. My eyes suck. He's
Oh
they're
yeah,
asking about
no,
your
I,
ten
I
dollars.
have to get those $10 back from UPS. I haven't done that yet because I don't know. I'm too
You don't want
mad
to deal with
still.
calling. Yeah, you don't want to call.
But no,
Does it say
I'm like that you owe me $10 because you did
Yeah,
not hold up your part of the bargain.
exactly.
Yeah, so this you're right. It doesn't say anything from Apple, but it does say electronic products, lithium ion batteries in compliance with blah 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 blah, blah section
Yeah, yeah,
11.
yeah,
So it's like it's clearly like a computer. You know
yeah.
what I
Does
mean?
it say it's from Cupertino at all, or does it say
No, no.
China?
It doesn't say where it's from at all.
Okay,
It
all right.
says, actually, it says it's from Lebanon, Tennessee,
Oh,
which is probably just, I don't know,
yeah.
the first place that it
Factory,
came,
the factory.
after
Yeah,
Shenzhen, which is
yeah.
where it came from initially. So yeah, it's whatever. It was, the story is funny now because again, it didn't end horribly, but it
Mm-hmm.
would not have been funny if that had gotten swiped off my porch.
Mm,
And anyway,
yeah.
for anybody who's who's like nodding and like in agreement, like yes, sometimes urban deliveries are weird. It just I had options. That was the
Yeah.
whole thing. It's like if I knew I didn't have options, I never would have had it delivered on
Yeah.
that day, knowing that it might have come earlier.
Right.
And then the option was like, oh, we'll hold it at the facility. You pick it up here. Oh, no, that's not possible. We'll just deliver it a week later. You have to pay $10. Okay, let's do that. Nah, we're just going to go ahead and say that and then try to deliver it twice.
Wow.
And then your neighbor signs for it.
Well, let me ask you this, Sarah. Once you finally got it, did you plug and slay, just like the website says? Plug and
I
slay.
plugged and slayed. I plugged and slayed. Yeah, I
Ah,
actually, I mean, again, because, earlier in the show, we were talking about the fact where I was like, oh, crap, I need some USB-A to USB-C
yeah.
converters.
Yeah.
Just kind of hadn't thought about that. So my plugging and slaying was a little bit, took a couple days, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm very happy with it now. I'll put a Hello Kitty sticker on the front. It'll be great.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice, nice. And you'll
Yeah.
be like this guy, enjoying a nice smaller size. But I see the thickness that you're talking about here, Mac Mini, now that I'm looking at the product website. So, well, lesson learned. Maybe part of the lesson is, wait, can you do anything other than UPS? I think you could do FedEx with Apple too, right? Or
I mean, it's possible that I could have chosen a different delivery service.
so
I was
maybe,
so
yeah,
excited, on the website. I was just like, burp, 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 that's what I want, and bye.
yeah.
So,
So maybe if you can choose a different one next time, let's just UPS. No thanks. Like,
yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know.
UPS not crazy about the experience, but not crazy about the experience with Apple either. I feel like
Yeah.
everybody just was like,
Everybody failed.
here's what we do to fix this, and then just didn't work. Over and over. So anyway, that's my saga. Thank you for listening. I feel better.
Yes, yes. And we cannot trust AI if in fact that was a bot that spoke to you originally from Apple.
I actually I was on the computer because again it was kind of late and I didn't have the option to be with a person during that first chat, and I was laughing. My mom is sitting next to me and I'm laughing like, wow, this person like listen to like the superlative way that Earl, that was my customer service person's name, because they told me 500 times that their name was Earl, and she was like, this sounds like a robot. And I'm like, I don't know. It seems pretty specific. I think it's a person. They're just trained to be like overly nice to you. But now I'm like, it might have just been a really good bot that fooled me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that bots can't do the thing that you want them to do. It's like, I'm not saying like, oh, if there was a person on the horn, it would have all been solved, because clearly the next day when I got a person on the horn, it was not
It
solved.
still didn't work.
No, it didn't. It didn't.
Wow.
Anyway, I
Okay.
think if there is a moral to the story, I would say well, I mean, again, do whatever it feels right for you. But the next time I buy something that's over $1,000, where like this needs to be safe and sound, I will not have it delivered to my house. I will have it delivered to an Apple store, and I will go get it there.
Yeah.
That's what I will do.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who are nowhere near an Apple store, I understand, wouldn't work for you. But that is going to be my MO going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. That way it's there and you can get it and boom.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have to worry about my crazy neighbor across the street stealing it, because she would.
Oh no. Or your random neighbor having to sign for it, and like you hope that the person is
Well,
actually,
yeah, and him being like, "Hey, Sarah, hope you're doing well. I think I have your package." Some guy was like banging on your door, like so crazy.
wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, listen, before we wrap up the show,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you real quick, Eileen. The going rumor now is that Apple is going to be introducing, somewhere in the first quarter of next year, 2025, a Echo Show-esque type competitor, something that you would, mount on your wall, say, and be able to use, as a smart home hub
Yeah.
for a variety of things. I have an Echo Show. It's not the new Echo Shows were announced today, actually, but it's several years old. I don't really use it as much as I could, but it is definitely a smart home hub for me. And it comes in handy. I have it in my kitchen, and I'm interested in what Apple is going for here. A lot of people are like, I mean, isn't it just an iPad? Like, wouldn't you just like mount an iPad? And I think, well, I don't. I think, because I don't know, but I think what Apple's going for here is like, yeah, I mean, you can buy an iPad and you can, do all the things that it's supposed to do. This would be some sort of not dumbed down version of an iPad, but something that just does certain things that it does, when you walk by it and, it's in the hallway or wherever it is type thing. And yeah, it's an interesting product category for Apple to get into.
Well, we joked about Apple refrigerators, Apple, air fryers in the past. And, some of the descriptions that I've read about this potential, Apple home device includes controlling appliances. So, like, which ones? I don't know. But if it could talk to your appliances, there's plenty of smart refrigerators. I mean, those are like Samsung. I don't know if other manufacturers have that. And can you imagine them really stepping into the home world with actual Apple appliances that could, this device could potentially control? Or, once again, they're talking about AI being used for this unit to navigate apps. What that means exactly, I'm not quite sure. But if it's cleaner than an iPad has so many things, has so many uses. And it's obviously
Yeah.
people are using it like a laptop. But if this is just for the home, it'll be cleaner, and it can maybe, I mean, obviously run your Nest, run your or whatever type of home, you know, um,
Yeah, if you've got
temperature
smart
you
lights,
have.
home
Yeah,
kit,
yeah.
all that stuff,
And most
like easy
people,
way to look at the weather as you walk by type
yeah,
thing.
most people like us have echoes at some way, shape, or form. A smaller, or an older device, a newer device, a big, small one, whatever. So now what's interesting is that this one would talk to your phone. This one would talk to your iPad. Presumably, you would have, it's building upon this ecosystem that they already have in the computing ecosystem, and just make it easier for your house, make it cleaner for your house. So not clean as in like, you're clean your
Right.
floors. Although that would
I
be really
mean,
great.
you
Hey,
could
Apple wall thing, clean my floors.
well,
Uh,
you could have it tell the Roomba to do that.
a Roomba, right?
That's a thing. That's a thing that's
Yeah,
possible, or or some other kind of robo vacuum. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. There's also, I don't know, Mark Gurman, who of course is the king of Apple rumors, and many of them end up coming true because he has a lot of irons in the fire, as it were, when it comes to what's going on with Apple. There's now some talk of Apple maybe going back to the drawing board with an Apple TV. Not an Apple TV
mm,
that we know as the hockey puck that controls your television, but a
yeah,
television
an
made by
actual television.
Apple.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like the iMac, right? It's like you got
yeah,
a Mac Mini and a monitor, like what I've got. That's
yeah,
what an Apple TV is right now.
yeah.
Or what if it's all one thing?
Right. Right. So then this unit could talk to that TV as well.
Indeed. Yeah. Yeah, it's I struggle a little bit just because my Echo Show is, I'm sorry, Echo Show, if you're listening. I don't mean to be rude to you. You do really good stuff. But there are a lot of things where I'm just like, I don't care about that recipe
yeah.
that you're showing me right now. In my I told it at some point to like show me recipes that I might like based on my shopping list. So like half the time I'm like, it's just like a carousel of things I don't really need. But it, I would be sad if I didn't have it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where that home automation thing probably sits with a lot of people. You got a lot of people who are right now being like, I
Yeah.
don't need that. Do I need that? I
Mhm.
don't think so.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's sort of the way I felt about smart lights before I ever had one. I was like, how hard is it to turn a light on and off? Well, it
Mhm.
isn't, but
It's nice to just tell something to turn it on.
and have a variety of routines.
Yep.
It's like, oh my gosh, my whole house is like built on a variety of routines. Like lights come on 30 minutes before sunset every night.
Mhm.
If I leave the house between this time and this time, they go off because they know that I've left, because I've got my phone with me. It's great. It's great. And so I feel like Apple is trying to become more of that like home hub company. It has been in some
Mm.
capacity. I mean,
Mhm.
you can run everything through HomeKit,
Mhm.
or most things anyway, but it never was sort of like, oh, here's the thing that you buy, and that's how your home just operates through.
Yeah,
That was always Amazon's thing, or Google,
exactly.
really.
Exactly. So we got a comment here from Tim Russell. Apple is going to have to be really amazing to make the switch. Our house has Amazon listening devices everywhere. Apple is about 5 years late. Isn't that the story for everything related to Apple? Apple is late. Apple is late, but then they're always saying, but they'll be the best. So to your point, Tim, it really has to be special for everyone to already make that switch because
Yeah.
we have it. We have it. Amazon gave it to us and it could speak to like I could play Netflix on my my big Echo Show that has a big monitor. I can run my iPhotos and pick my favorite photos to run on the Echo Show as like a screensaver.
Yep.
I can
Yep.
already do all of this stuff. So I once again it will be whether or not Apple can dazzle us. So, just like the promise, we were talking about AI too. AI, they're late to the party. But what are they going to bring to the party that's going to accelerate or make it easier for the consumer? So I think
Yeah.
they're banking on the fact that everybody has an Apple, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have Apple devices. And so they're banking on the fact that this, community of
Oh.
users will also, oops, there goes your chair. The community of users will also convert, and maybe they're banking on the fact that there is going to be a sizable percentage of the community that will convert because they want it to all talk. Maybe they'll have bundled packages, Apple TV, the HomeKit, Apple Wall AI, whatever this is, and I don't know, your phone. But then we have Lord Leon 77 with my home automation system. I could put my iPad in dedicated mode for the app that controls things if I want, which is exactly what Sarah had pointed out earlier. Like this is an iPad, right? And then XAM says, so it's an iPad mini. Another version of an iPad mini. I
Well,
mean,
and I think some iPad mini fans, and I know you're out there because you have
yes.
emailed us, you have told us that, the iPad mini is definitely a form factor that some people want. That is a more robust machine than what I think this is supposed to be.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be I can do a handful of things. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a computer. I
Mm-hmm.
am, I can, take care of your smart home devices. I can tell you the weather. I can, help you with your shopping list. I can, do a variety of, help you with your, the temperature in your house kind of thing. Like that all, and that's all awesome, and if you have 20 of those things, it's like, do you really need an iPad for this?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. And I think Apple's probably banking on this. I also feel like, and this is me just being knowing that companies, want to take each other down. So Amazon announcing new Echo shows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one new Echo show and an updated Echo. The Echo Show 21 was announced today, and then an updated version of the Echo Show 15 also announced. We're going right into Christmas.
Yeah.
These are gifts. These
Yeah.
are perfect gifts.
They're
Like,
not that
what do
expensive,
you get for the person who has everything? It's like, get one of these,
Yeah.
somebody who likes to
Upgraded.
tinker, like, this is perfect,
There's gonna be deals. It's Amazon Black Friday,
Yeah. Or even if
so
it's, for somebody in your family that, like, is like, I don't know how to do this. Like, you set it up for them, you're the hero kind of thing. So, Apple coming out with this in the spring, great, but nobody will care if they all buy the Echo Shows before
exactly.
Christmas.
Also, what's the price point of the Apple device? It's gonna be expensive, right?
I
And
know.
the
Yeah,
other
that's a good
thing
question.
the other thing this article talks about, being able to run Apple's core apps like Safari, Notes, and Calendar. Do we need that? Do we need that on this device? I don't have Calendar running on, the Echo Show,
No, I've never
or
even thought about
Notes,
using that for a
or
calendar.
Chrome or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, again, maybe I'm not forward thinking enough to know why I would need those apps on this home device when I have an iPad and an iPhone, but maybe it would be useful in some way, shape, or form. I don't know.
It's
Maybe,
very ecosystem based, right?
yeah.
Like for example, my Echo Show will again, I have a carousel, showing me a variety of recipes. But also, I do a lot of subscribe and save on Amazon.
Yeah, yeah, same.
And I'll sometimes, I'll get the emails. I
Yeah,
get the notifications in other ways, but I'll walk by and be like, "Ooh, yeah, no, 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 I don't need that next month. I have too
yeah.
many of
Skip.
those already."
Yeah.
Like
Uh-huh.
skip the
Yeah.
biotin pills or
Hmm.
whatever. And that is, I mean, that it really is part of my life in many
Yeah.
ways. If it was gone, I would miss it. I really
Yeah.
would. So
Hmm.
I think that, yeah, if Apple can present itself as this is that, but better,
Better.
and here are the 5 ways we're better, then now we're talking. But I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go.
Okay, we have a once again, Lord Leon 77. The DIY home automation environment is a mess. Apple could make it a lot better. Okay, so we have someone you're cheering for them, obviously, and yeah, I hope someone does make it better. You're right. We're all kind of just piecemealing things together. But at the same time, I still think the Echo Show is doing enough, you know? Oh, oops, what is this? I would pay $2.99 for the device if they make Siri smarter. I don't think it's gonna be $2.99. I think it's gonna be something like $600 is what I think it's gonna be.
I mean,
And
Amazon's Echo Show 21 is $400.
yeah, so it's
The
gonna be
revamped 15 is $300.
oh
I
Lord, what
would
is it gonna
be I
be?
would be shocked if Apple gave us anything under 500.
Right. Now I'm thinking about it. It's gonna be 1,000. It's gonna be 1,000 to start, is my guess. Hopefully I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
I
Hopefully I'm
mean,
wrong because that's
I
way
just bought
too
my Mac
expensive.
Mini, so I'm not buying this
Yes.
ish Apple. I'm not doing it. Nope. Can't do it. Not doing it.
Well, and the first iteration of it is not going to be the best, right? So as there's new versions, it'll get hopefully will work better. And to XAM's point, if Siri is definitely smarter, because yesterday it couldn't tell me the weather for a particular location. I was like, "Are you serious? Are you serious? This is what I found on the internet." I'm like, "I just asked you about the weather." It's supposed to be better, and I have AI on this. I'm like, okay,
I know, same. I've
it's
been
like,
I've been where it's sort of like, ask a question and then you can
mhm,
keep asking. You don't have to, keep
mhm.
using like the wake word type stuff. And it's been, although I can say the same thing about Amazon.
Oh, same, because we actually asked Alexa the same question. She botched it well. She botched it as well, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well,
Earlier this morning, I've got this whole thing where at 6 a.m. my light. This is very nerdy, but okay. You know a little bit about my morning routine. At 6 a.m., not in my bedroom because I might still be asleep, but in the
yeah,
living room, my lights go on over the course of 30 minutes so
okay,
that at 6:30, at least like kind of the main room in my house is light.
yeah,
And this morning, I got up kind of early, just earlier than I usually do, sort of bleary eyed, and sort of walk out, and, the lights weren't on at all. Where I'm like, they should be on like 5% at this point, So I'm
mhm,
like, hey, Alexa assistant,
mhm.
turn living room on. And she was like, sorry, I don't know how to do that. And I'm like, what? The hell is happening? And
Why?
yeah. And so I asked like 2 more times, and finally it was like ding, and then the
Yeah.
lights went on full when I was like, I'm not supposed to do it this way. I have a whole routine.
It's like it just decided not to listen. I'm like,
Just
"Did you not
yeah, she was
understand
just
me?"
like, I don't know, I was sleeping in too. So I just don't want to do it. No.
See, what if all our this is the future, right? The all of our robots and automations, they start to get really smarter and they start to talk back.
Yeah, like I don't want to do that for you right now. I
Attitude.
don't think you should be up.
I'm like,
Granted, I
"Wait, are
was
you
up
my?"
a little earlier than usual this morning, but I was like, my routine still should be going on whether I'm up or not. That is
Exactly.
not part of the routine, is whether my physical body has entered the room.
I don't need my home appliance device to start acting like my puppy. Like,
No.
Seven's like, yeah, I'm not, I don't want to sit right now. Oh my, USID. And Alexa's like, I'm not gonna listen. I'm not, I don't know how many times, sometimes I have to tell her, uh, good night is our, it turns off all the lights.
Yeah,
And
same.
there's
Yeah.
sometimes where I have to say it like 3 times. I'm like, and I swear to God, I don't think I say it any differently each time, but I have to say it 3 times for her to turn off the lights. I'm like, why did it take you so long? That's like looking at Seven, who looks at me, and when I give a command and he's like, I don't know. Um 30 seconds later, okay, I'll do the thing now. Like,
Yeah, I'll
no,
do
no,
that
no,
thing.
you're supposed to do it now.
Yeah.
So,
Oh gosh.
oh,
Yeah. Oh gosh.
the
Yeah.
world we live in.
Tim Russell is reminding us of HAL 9000. I think we all think of HAL 9000 here
Yes.
and there, where I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like the robots are trying to kill me just yet. But this morning I was like, turn the lights on. My God, turn them on. Just like, I'm not going to argue with you about this. I want you to
Yeah.
turn them on. I know I'm up early. Turn the
Yeah.
lights on. So anyway, well,
Oh,
with that, we'll let you all think of your best Apple or Amazon or other AI failing stories,
yes,
and send them to us, because
please.
we would like to know that we're not alone.
Yep.
Feedback at applevisionshow.com. But Eileen, I think we covered a lot of ground here.
We
And
did.
and it's so nice to see you again. It's nice to
Yes,
be
it's nice to
back. It's
see
been a
you.
few weeks.
I
Yeah,
know. It's been too long. I
it
feel a little
has.
rusty, but I feel like, okay, we're back in the swing of things. We're asking for what we need from Apple, right?
Indeed. Indeed. Yes. Tell us what you want as well.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week. We'll do it again. We'll do it live.
Do it live.
And until then, thanks for watching and listening. Whether you watched or listened or both, so glad to have you, and talk to you next time.
Bye. I was
Well,
actually
that
starting
was fun. It was long.
to
I
long.
just felt like we had so many things to talk about.
I know. I started to look for a video I'd saved on X, and if I find it, I'll send it to you. But there was some like scary advancements with robotics in China, very lifelike robotics, and maybe you've seen some of this before. But if I find it again, I'll send it to you. But they're looking a little lifelike these days, some of these robots. And we're not talking about the robot dog, we're talking about robotics that look like people and they're moving like people. And whoa. So I'm pretty sure I found it on X, and I thought I saved it, but it might have been a long time ago and we hadn't talked about robotics in a while. So if I find it, I will share, because it's a little like, yee, that's where we're going, just like the movies say, like, oh. But
So
anyway.
I'll just say,
Hmm.
and I know that, it was sort of last minute, so, we hadn't really thought about it, but when I sent out my blast for people who wanted to join us live in
Yeah.
chat, on Blue Sky, I don't know how many impressions I got, but, I got some engagement, some
Uh-huh.
likes, a couple retweets,
Oh,
rethreads.
okay, good. Yeah.
But on Threads, nothing.
Oh.
Nothing.
Okay, so people.
Like the algorithm just like didn't put me, like people are clearly on Threads right now.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, sure.
like it's not that like nobody cared. It's just that nobody saw it.
Where is everybody on Threads? Maybe like
I
there's a
don't
certain time
know.
of day, maybe there's a certain time of day that is
Well, you've got,
better.
so many people are I actually like Threads, but I get more and more people who have been pretty vocal on Threads lately, complaining more and more about how the algorithm is just not doing well. I don't
Mm,
really know what that means for me.
mm.
I don't really know how much I care.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like, if you follow me and you care about me, like, you know where to find me.
Oh my God.
Like,
I just found it. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Oh no, where did it go? Wait. I just found as you were talking and I was listening, I was like, oh my God, there it is. I was just scrolling down my bookmarks. Okay. I will share it. This is for the after show. Look at these. Look at these.
oh,
Robot, right? Beijing World Robotics Congress.
oh, wow.
Don't they like they're robots, but
But they're looking, I mean, I don't know. That is pretty lifelike.
exactly. I'm a little like, "Oh boy. Here we go."
Here we go. Yeah. It's right. It's also like, I mean, besides sort of like the obvious, like, ha ha, wink, wink, what are they going to do for you? Like, what are they for? Like, is this somebody that, cooks you breakfast? Is this somebody that, fixes the leak in your seat? Like, what is it? What's it for? Is
Okay,
it
now
just
I'm
a
hearing that
friend?
it's fake. People are saying it's fake. It's AI.
Oh,
Okay. Well, thank
yeah.
God it's not part of the show. This is just for the after show. But still, I feel like that's where we're kind of headed. And there was some humanistic robots in Beijing. Maybe they didn't move that way, but they're getting there. Uh I don't know. Oh, AI. See, I got fooled by AI. Uh
That's going to be
that
the whole thing.
that's the whole thing.
That's going to be the whole thing is like, oh, it's fake. I
Yeah.
see that all the time, where I'm like, I either see something that is either a photo or a video that somebody has already debunked, and I'm sort of like, oh, okay, yeah, fake. Or I see something, I'm like, is that fake? I don't know. I mean, how much time do I have right now to like look into
Yeah.
this?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, I was still fascinated by the fact that that is probably where we're headed, but maybe it's more like 200 years from now and we won't be here. But all right, I'm going to say goodbye to
Well,
the
you might not
stream.
be, Eileen. I
Oh,
plan to be
okay.
here 200 years from now. I mean,
Immortal. I had no idea you were a
yeah, I'm
vampire.
like negative 40 years old. Yeah, I'll
Mm.
be here.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to end the stream. Bye, guys. Bye, stream.
Bye,
Thanks for those of
stream.
you who
Thanks for
found
being
us.
with us
We'll be
at
in
kind
the
of a
regular.
weird time
Yeah.
and day of the week, but really appreciate y'all. See you next
Bye,
time.
guys. All right. And